In the weekend astrology of January 20th and 21st, we have the Sun entering Aquarius after conjuncting Pluto, and Pluto moving into Aquarius as well. This is a powerful transit. So not only are we opening Aquarius season, but this Pluto in Aquarius for the second to last time, the penultimate time, it's going to retrograde back into Capricorn once more. And then when it moves into Aquarius, it's going to be staying there for a good long time. And we haven't had this since the 1780s. We haven't been experiencing this type of energy happening. So there's a lot that's shifting and a lot that's going to be changing for us collectively. For all the signs today, the way that this is going to affect you, first of all, Aquarius is our main character right now. To all the Aquariuses out there, you are going to be experiencing a total and complete rebirth of the self. And remember, with Pluto and the Plutonian energy, how magnetic it is, not only yourself is going to be reborn in some way, but you are going to be recognized a lot. Whether you are doing great things, whether you are falling short, everything you do is going to be recognized on a much more intense scale, just like Capricorn risings have experienced for the past 15 years. So it's going to be pretty intense, but essentially this next decade and a half, 2 decades, is really going to be about the re-evolution of the self. You are going to be changing. You are going to be shifting. For Capricorn, you are finally going to feel paid out over this Aquarius season, as well as over this next 20 years. You're going to feel paid out for all of the things you've experienced over this last decade and a half. For Capricorn especially, you've been feeling as though, why does it feel like everyone else gets these insanely quick glow-ups? Why does it feel like everyone else gets their reward so much faster than me? Why does it take so much time? And part of that that's going to become visible is that while Pluto was in your sign, it was keeping you in a constant state of evolution. It was constantly challenging you to redo things, to do things a little bit better, to work a little bit harder. And now that it's moving into Aquarius, you finally get to experience that in your solar second. And so you're going to be experiencing certain types of payouts or buyouts that are just amazing, and they're going to happen on a financial level, but it's about character as well. There are certain things where you won't have to grind as hard as you have been. For Sagittarius, this is going to be the sort of re-evolution of your communication entirely. There's a lot of times where with Sagittarius, you guys are so brilliant, but it's almost like sometimes because Mercury, being in its detriment in your sign, it can feel sometimes like either you won't speak up enough because you question your own knowledge, or you question your own intelligence, or you say an awful lot in order to make sure that everyone knows that you know what you're talking about, and you don't need to do that as much. And what you'll experience with this evolution of your communication is just kind of being very clear about things, just sort of saying what's on your mind and not worrying so much about what other people think about what you're saying or what that says about you that you're saying it, and just sort of allowing yourself to speak a little bit more. For Scorpio, this of course is going to be a massive evolution in your emotional stability. Your comfort zone is going to change entirely. A lot of upheaval and shifts in your family. There's going to be a lot of things happening here. Family members moving, possibly across the country. Maybe you're reconnecting with family you haven't seen in a long time. But there's going to be this massive shift. So if you have like a dead set, clear-minded focus of, I'm no contact with these family members and that's never going to change, be open-minded. Things might change because certain people that you expected to never change will change. For Libra, this is going to be a couple decades of art, creativity, romance, and expression. This is going to be a lot of the fire energy that is being reorganized for you. And depending on how heavily in the air energies your chart is, it might be very jarring. It might be very intense. You might be undergoing an entire character evolution. And remember that this Leonic energy is about the expression authentically of the self. So it's going to be about you expressing yourself in so many ways that maybe you've held back especially while this has all been happening in Capricorn, while in a ways maybe you have had some false roots that have been sunk so deep down into the earth that you couldn't possibly move. And now it's a time to move. Now it's time to move quickly and with authenticity. For Virgo, this is going to be very intense. This is going to be essentially a decade and a half of massive changes to your health, to your diet, to your fitness, to your sleep schedule. This is going to be about the daily life shifting and changing. After this last 15 years of trying to find new ways to express yourself, it's almost as though things kind of narrow down or become more laser focused on what it is that you actually want. And there's going to be a lot more focus around how you're actually experiencing your daily life in pursuit of all of these exciting things you've been after. For Leo, this of course is going to be a massive change and evolution in your relationships. This is going to be about relationships, your expectations of them, what you're bringing to your partner, what your partner is bringing to you. These shifts are going to be pretty intense. If you're not in a relationship right now, you are likely about to start one here very soon. And even if you take some time and you hold back from that a little bit, once you start one, this is essentially an incredibly fertile time for very long-term relationships for you. If you're already in one, you might just experience that so many things have shifted and changed that you know that you need to communicate a lot of different things to your partner about what's going on in your internal world and what it is that you actually expect here out in the external. For Cancer, you guys, this is going to be, I would say, like, for all the signs, we've undergone so many different types of spiritual evolution and revolution in the past decade or so, but I think for Cancer, this is just going to be beyond intense psychically. I think that you guys are going to have certain spiritual unlocks that are going to happen to you that you could not have predicted and that are going to blow your mind. This is the time for the spirit journey. Speaking of which, Gemini, you're going on a spirit quest. This next 20 years is really going to be about your faith, your belief system, your connection to your philosophy, your connection to God. There is so many major things at stake here, but what's going to be happening the most is essentially your call to adventure. This is kind of your special hero story right now. You are going to be called specifically to, whether it be a long-term goal, whether it be just adventuring or traveling around, you're going to have just so much of that you experience in this next 20 years. It's going to be very mind-blowing. And of course, for each of the signs, that you're getting almost like a month-sized preview, and then you're going to be getting a multi-month preview with Pluto, and then you're going to, of course, experience multiple decades. So what we're talking about here with the Pluto shift also applies to this upcoming month in a very intense form with the Sun and Pluto there at the same time. And every Aquarius season coming up is going to be just riddled with this energy. It's going to be so intense. For Taurus, you guys, this is essentially going to be the time of destiny. So any of you who have had really big goals that feel as though they're barely trucking along, career paths that have reached dead ends, this is going to be a time for a much greater worldwide expansion. If you've been doing the social media thing, expect your follower count to massively increase. If you're working diligently at anything, and you have been for the past few years, understand that suddenly the whole world's going to recognize you out of nowhere. And you're going to be like, what on earth did I do different that shifted this? And it's partially because in this past, you've had this whole quest of faith. It's been all about your faith in yourself and your belief, and now it's shifting to the world recognizing what it is that you believe. And for Aries, for you guys, this is going to be really wild, because essentially this is going to be the friendship networks you have right now being entirely separate from who you are with right now. Or that if you have like a few very close friends right now, just expect that your friendship social circle is going to expand and expand and expand. This is going to be about meeting new people. Aries is going to gain more friendships in the next 20 years than maybe you've gained in your entire life, especially if you've been so fixated on the long-term things over the past 15 years. You're going to basically stop and smell the roses in a lot of way. And for Pisces, this is a massive time because for Pisces, the age of Pisces is now coming to an end. Some would say it technically already has, and in a way it has, but this is a very sort of nebulous shift that we experience collectively. So for Pisces, you're going to be experiencing the end of things. You're going to be experiencing the end of curses. You're going to, and when I say curses, this is more metaphorical than anything. The end of curses, the end of endings, essentially. You're going to be experiencing a lot of the things that have always been in your psyche, right, since childhood. Like, I'm a nervous person. I'm someone who doesn't know how to talk to people. I don't know how to express myself. Whatever this long-term curse has been for you guys, especially in the last 15 years, there is a curse-breaking element to all this and a transcendence that is offered. This is a time to, much like Cancer, go on a bit of a psychedelic journey right now, whether or not it's actually with psychedelics, but take up meditation, take up yoga, take up something that will connect you to your breath, your mind, and your body, and just sort of witness the type of evolution that's happening for you, the spiritual evolution, because it's going to be very intense. So I'm excited to hear what all of you experience in this upcoming Aquarius season. I know I'm very excited for it myself. I'm an Aquarius rising. So this is definitely going to be something special. But thank you guys all for tuning in, and I will talk to you all on Monday.